It's working out pretty good being at home.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I just feel like something's missing. Something is missing in our lives.
You think so?
I do.
I've had that feeling too.
What is it?
You know what we're missing?
What's that?
A tank.
A tank?
A tank.
Let's add a tank.
Looks like somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Happy Monday! Hey everybody, welcome to our office. This is gonna be fun. As a side little funny thing, remember when we set up the nano wall downstairs? Well, that was so that we could get all the tanks from upstairs downstairs, which happened, but now they're slowly popping up. There's one in the bathroom, there's one in the kitchen, and now there's one in the office. So let's get started. Number one, tank size. It's going to be very important, and yet another reason why nano tanks are so awesome, because of their size. Remember, it's going to be 10 pounds per gallon of water, so this is a 5-gallon, a typical size for a nano tank, and it's a cube tank. So this is about 50 pounds, and it doesn't take up, maybe it's like 10 inches by 10 inches that it takes up on a desk. Perfect size. Some people may suggest, you know, you could go bigger. I think this is a perfect size. Nano tanks are great.
So yeah, tank size is super important when you're trying to figure out what type of tank you want to put in your home office. Nano tanks are great. This is a cool tank. If you can go bigger, why not?
Number two, where are you going to put it? Do you want it on your desk? If so, is it in your peripheral vision? It is for me. So that's gonna take a lot of things into consideration. Are you gonna find the movement distracting? Are you gonna find having a scape right next to you distracting? You know, what I call scape gazing? Just like sitting there staring at it while you should be working. I'm gonna try and, you know, work through that because that's gonna be a big challenge. We'll see how it goes. Also keep in mind, where are you going to put it? If you're not going to put it on your desk, are you going to put it on maybe a cabinet nearby? Keep in mind, are you by natural light? Not good for a tank. Algae. And also, you're going to be wanting to open the window when it gets nice, unless it's already gotten nice by you. So that's going to cause temperature, you know, changes in your tank. That's not good. So keep in mind, away from a window is best.
Scape gazing? You've got a tank on your desk. Of course you want to scape gaze. Put that thing right next to your computer. Maybe even replace your computer. That's the best way to do it. Make sure that tank is all up in your face.
Number three, one of the most important things and one of my favorite, what fish are you going to put in there? For me, there's really only one choice. A betta.
You've got mystery snails.
Or of course a betta.
Shrimp.
A betta.
Small rasboras.
Or of course a betta.
maybe some tiny, relatively inactive tetras. It really depends on the size of the tank.
Now, especially if you're gonna have the tank right next to you, I would find the movement of other fish just too fast. It would like, I'd see it, you know, and I'd be like always looking like, ooh, what's that? A betta. Another reason why they're so awesome is they're moving nice and slow, and very peaceful. So it's a great coworker, you know, to have in your home office. Number 4, what finish is the desk or the cabinet that you want to put it on? Now, if you're like me, which I never worked from home, I always wanted to, so ironically, you know, these are the best of times and the worst of times. I am able to work from home, at least for now, so we had to hurry up and get me a setup, which included, you know, painting some wood tops here, but maybe you've gone out and gotten like a desk from online. So does that desk or cabinet or whatever have a veneer? If so, you know, you might want to keep in mind, is there, you know, when you're doing water changes, or if you're, you know, fixing escape and drip, drip, drip water, is it going to cause damage? Because we've already found out like where somebody didn't like put a glaze over the stain. Yeah, there's already water spots, so that's already on the to-do list to fix the top. Number 5, cords. With any tank, you're gonna have multiple cords. Like we have 3 cords coming out from this little guy. So if you have the desk, there's a lot of desks out there, actually the ones that I wanted more, they're very open, you know, it's very minimal. Well, guess what? You're gonna be seeing cords coming out from the back. Also an extension cord, or maybe like a power strip. Those are really clunky, kind of ugly things to see. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of great hacks though, you know, attaching them to the back of the desk, you know, that sort of thing. But keep in mind where the cord's gonna go. Number 6, noise. We all know the tanks cause noise. A little bubble, 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 you know, from the filter. That can also help you, you know, kind of choose what tank you want, because different filters make different amounts of noises.
Yeah, noise, super important. In fact, fun tip, if you are going to do an aquarium in a place that needs to be relatively quiet, i.e. you just don't want to hear your filters going, make sure your filter is internal to the tank. Now, we've done some video reviews on quiet filters. I'll put those down in the description below. Super important. A lot of filters now are moving to pumps that are actually internal. They're in the water. The tank behind us, that is the case. It is absolutely quiet. Can't hear it. Super cool.
Number 7, where's your water source for water changes? Are you going to be close to a bathroom, a kitchen? You know, we're very close to the bathroom here, and you're going to want to map out. Are you going to be using a siphon? Are you going to be using a bucket to do water changes, a cup? You know, sort that out first so that you know. Well, also, do you have carpet? So I've had to put a lot of thought into, do I want a tank up here? There's a possibility water will get on the carpet. You know, what am I going to do? That sort of thing. So that's just some. And where are you going to keep the stuff? The bucket, towels, etc., etc. Are you going to keep it in like a desk drawer, a cabinet drawer in here? Are you going to keep it in the bathroom, the kitchen? You might want to like kind of clear that with, you know, whoever might have an issue with that. Luckily it's me, and there's already a lot of buckets, and there's a lot of stuff in the bathroom for fish tanks. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, we do have a lot of stuff in our bathroom, in our office, in the basement, in the kitchen, in the garage. Just make sure your stuff is where it needs to be.
Number 8, you know, whenever I set up escape or a tank, or even the design of a tank, I keep them, except for like, you know, our fish room or stands, you know, on my nano wall downstairs. If we're putting it in the kitchen, any kind of room, for me personally, a very big consideration is gonna go with the decor. As you can see, our desk area here is very like rustic, you know, and that's why I kind of like this tank, because it's very minimal, you know, it's rounded, it's very, you know, it's very I don't know, not jarring to the eyes. So you wanna make sure, and then the decor that you're picking. You know, do you have, you know, really bright colors in your room? Well, then maybe you want some fun, you know, funky decorations like I did in some of my my betta tanks that I set up downstairs. They have some fun decorations, right? Here I chose very lush green, you know, a lot of plants. I stuck a lot of plants in there. That was fun. And then we got him in there. And so it's a very muted kind of scape, you know, and I think it goes pretty well. I stayed away from like the pinks and stuff for Jason. I didn't want to go there.
Does the scape of your tank go with your decor? Who cares? Just make it cool. Make it whatever you want it to be. If you want to go full fluorescent plants and a little bubbly aquascape guy, you can do that. If you really want to be high tech and make it blend in, like this wonderful tank here, you can do that too. Make the tank what you want it to be.
Number 9, this is actually a point that Jason brought up, and I thought it was a pretty good one, so I added it to the list. Are you in the room enough so that it doesn't become a chore to take care of your tank? Now you would think that that's kind of counterintuitive. If, you know, it's a home office, you would think that you're, you know, in it a lot. Maybe you're not. Maybe you only work, you know, here and there. And then also, when you're going to be doing your water changes, are you going to want to come back in? You know, is it kind of like, oh, the day is done, I'm out of here sort of thing? Just keep in mind, you're going to need to keep your tank maintenance up and keep the tank looking awesome and your fish really happy. Number 10. This one I'm very biased, okay? I'm going to warn you. For the home office tank, I think this is like the best solution. It's obviously a nano tank. It's small. It's also a kit tank, if you want to call it that. It comes with pretty much everything. And everything, all the inner workings, this one is like everything is at the top, which I don't know if it's my favorite quite yet. We're gonna figure that out with this little specific, you know, kind of tank. But I really, really like the nano tanks that are all in a kit, and especially the cube tanks have really grown on me because I have a couple down in my on my nano wall, and they stay really clean. I don't know what the deal is, but they stay cleaner than any of my other tanks. Very rarely do I get an algae bloom. They're really great, and they just look very like clean, peaceful. A lot of them, like I said, have the rounded corners, so there's not like a lot of, I mean, you don't see a lot of stuff. I didn't even put a background on this one. Jason wasn't happy. He likes to paint all the backgrounds of his, not me. I didn't even put anything there. Well, probably because, I don't know, we'll see. So far I like it though.
Yeah, kit tanks, super cool. We've done comparisons. I'll put those in the description below. We've looked at the Fluval spec. We've looked at the AquaTop. We've looked at just standard 5-gallon tanks. Definitely something to think about. The kit tanks are going to save you a lot of time. In fact, I did an entire video about whether or not starter fish tank kits are worth it. Put that in the upper right-hand corner as well as in the description below. But certainly something you can consider, because then all you have to do is buy the heater, the fish, the decorations, and you're ready to go.
So those are the top 10 tips to help you fix up a really great home office tank. So here is the tank. Now when we decided that we wanted to have a tank in the office, we said, do we have any tanks laying around? We had a couple choices. This one had been given to us by AquaTop. It's the AquaTop Aquaponics tank, which I actually never understood the premise of putting plants on top, but you know what? I like plants too. So at some point we may try plants. We may remove the whole top section and go with like a traditional light. Not really sure, gonna have to play around. But here it is. I like the size, it's great. And the little occupant here, well, his name is Bob. When I went looking for some fish, I said, I need a betta that's named Bob. Why Bob? Well, I don't know if you've heard of this. For all the spouses who are now working together, possibly at home with their spouse, the thing to do now is to get yourself like an invisible coworker, somebody that you can blame things on, like, hey, Bob left his mug here. hey, Bob left his wrapper on the counter, you know, that sort of thing. But I said, what's better than an invisible coworker? A real coworker, a fish. So I said, I need Bob. Well, I found Bob, but then I found another redfish that really just wanted to come home with me. And you know how it is when you go and look for a betta? They're all like, pick me. Well, now I have clear Bob, and I also have red Bob in the basement. So at some point, you're gonna be seeing red Bob. He's just as fun as clear Bob. So let's talk about the tank. Luckily I went foraging in one of our tanks, and the wood that you see here was already in a tank. It was already not floating, so it was great. I didn't have to stick rocks on top of it, you know, pile of rocks on top. It's sunk just fine. What a time saver. So I have 2 pieces of wood. I also used 3 different plants. Anubias, and then of course Anubias nana petite, one of my favorites. And crypts, I use like 3-4 crypts. And you'll see a lot of Bacopa, which I really love Bacopa, but I don't think Bacopa loves me. So it tends to, you know, become unplanted, especially since Bob likes to swim around in the Bacopa and, you know, pull it up. We'll see about that. And then I've got 1 rock. And then the other rocks are actually part of, you know, they're just sitting on my desk. I don't know why. So yeah, I actually like how it turned out, and I didn't even put a backdrop on it, like I was saying before. Why? I don't know. I've always just not wanted to put a backdrop on a fish, on a tank, and I like how it looks. It kind of bothers Jason, which is win-win for me. And yeah.
And you forgot all about your mystery snail. You talked about your rock, and you forgot about your mystery snail. There's a mystery snail.
I haven't named him yet. We do have a mystery snail in there. He should have a name. What do you think? You want to name him?
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton, that's a good one. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I like it.
We're gonna have 2 Bobs. You have to have a Michael Bolton.
Right. And the funny thing is, after we set it up and we're like, oh yeah, there's a tank on the office desk. Jason says to me, he says, how come you have a tank and I have a printer? Winner.